So I was literally in stand already. It was insanely windy, like 40-mile-per-hour gust. I'm in a pretty solid oak tree, but I didn't like it, so I got down, went to the truck, changed, and you can see off in the distance, off in the north, or kind of the northwest, I should say, the sky was pitch black, and you can see lightning coming, so I was like, screw this, I'm getting out of here. Went to the truck, looked at radar, and it showed that it was a thin band, and that's dynamite, because if the timing is, with the timing of this thing basically, if this thing passes, and on the backside, all this windy, scrappy weather turns dead calm and it gets nice out, which you'll see on the backside of storm fronts like that, that's money, especially in the right timing. If it's a couple hours before dark, like it is right now, this will get deer up on their feet and hopefully push out. So, as you can see, it's like pretty much sunny out now, super calm, and I'm gonna sit tight, see what happens, but I think the deer are gonna get up on their feet tonight and move, so I like it. Alright, I gotta take a seat. I'm back in the garage, like usual. I always do my wrap-ups here. Tonight, man, what a sit. It was all about timing. And it was really good timing, and it was a case of like really bad timing at the same time. So, if that makes sense. But basically, I got out in the woods, got up in a tree, and it was insanely windy. I mean, I felt like the gusts had to be about 40 miles per hour. I did not like it. I didn't even feel safe, and I was in like a solid oak tree. So I got down, went to the truck, and mind you, as before I got down, not only was the wind like pushing me out of there, but you could see off in the distance it was just completely black and lightning coming down, which I didn't expect that. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely just getting out of here, live to hunt another day. Got to the truck, changed my clothes, threw them in the bag, and I thought, you know what, I should just check radar really quick before I get out of here, because I did not expect this storm, so maybe it's like a small band. And sure enough, it was like a really small band that was only going to last like 15 minutes. And, like it was heavy wind, heavy rain, lightning, and we had strong winds all day long. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to sit tight, and if this wind backs off, if the storm front passes and it's like calm on the backside and the sun comes out, oh my gosh, it's like perfect timing. And the time of day was perfect. So I figured if this quits, throw myself back on. I'm getting aggressive. I'm grabbing a stand, and I'm hunting basically like an off wind to the bedding area. I mean, it's basically blown almost right into it, and I was just going to sit off 50 yards, essentially. So if you could picture wind blowing into the bedding area, northwest wind, and I'm to the 50 yards, 60 yards to the east of where I think they're going to pop out of their bed and come through the stretch of oaks. That was my plan. Super aggressive. It's very boomer bust type hunting. But I like to get really aggressive, and like when the timing is right, you have to get aggressive. In my opinion, you can only do safe sits so many times before it's just it's just not going to pay off a lot of times. So got in there, and like I guess I probably sat 35-40 minutes and nothing was moving. And I thought, oh, okay, well maybe I was wrong. Like the wind just has been really locked down. They're gonna move it dark, and then that 8 crossed me that I just saw the previous hunt. Got a little better footage of him. I flipped on the night mode because it seems like when I zoom in, it was still pretty early. I mean, there was a lot of daylight left, but like when I zoom in, it's really dark in this camera, I noticed. So I flipped the night mode so you can kind of get a good idea what it was. Pretty nice, solid 8-pointer. Probably like 4.5-year-old deer. So pretty good buck for around here. And I was sitting there watching him for a minute, and I saw him had his head down. He pulled his head up and just kind of looked like close to him, and I was like, what's going on? So I threw up the binos. I wanted to get a better look at this buck. And like 7 yards behind him in the brush was just that absolute giant. Like that. I haven't seen a deer like that in my entire life in real life. So like just a stud. 100%. I'm like, fixed in on trying to find this deer now. And he came out broad daylight. That buck was he crossed me at 30 yards, but where I was kind of watching him, he's at 59 yards. And I feel good about taking a shot like that. He was in a little open area. And I thought for sure this big buck was just going to push him right out of there, and I was going to take the shot. So I grabbed the bow, grabbed binos in one hand, and all of a sudden it just starts downpouring, and the wind picked up again. And you could see, like, he just snapped his head around. And it was tough to see, but he's just a giant. Snapped his head around a couple times, and you could tell he didn't like the weather. He didn't like what was going on. He was kind of spooked, especially be kind of out in an open area like that. And it started raining so hard I couldn't see through my binos anymore. So I put my bow back on the hanger, wiped him off, threw him back up. He was gone. So I sat there and watched 8 for had to be another 35-40 minutes. He just sat in the same spot, staring off in the distance. Literally didn't move. So, I mean, he was incredibly spooked by the weather that we just had kind of roll in again. But I thought for sure he's probably just like staring at that big buck and that he was going to come and move him off. And he never did. But, I mean, super exciting. That was one of the most exciting hunts I've been on in quite some time just because I got to lay my eyes on it. Just a giant buck, So, but I'm encouraged now. Like, I can't wait to get back out there. Now I know how to get aggressive, and hopefully we get some more cold fronts and weather like this, and it's all about timing. Get aggressive. Just trust the wind, and trust what you're doing and where you think they're coming from, and just do it. Just execute. Sit there, get aggressive, and hopefully I'll see them again. We'll see. But super exciting hunt. I know it's not good footage, very short, but just the way it is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It got me going a little bit. Pretty excited to figure out what this buck is doing.